Sasquatch, Yahoo, Phantom of the Forest, you Spear, Finger, Fire Dragon, Ohio Grassman, Silver Giant, Bloodless Howler, West Virginia Vampire, Coyote King, Hogzilla, Devil, Dark Coyote Killer. Cave creature, Mothman, Smoke Wolf, Lizard, Demon, Ashman, Grafton Monster, Cow-killing Bastard, Shadow Creature, Dustman, Cherokee, Death Cat, Wild Man, Great Fire Rape, what else do I have to say? Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber, catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet. Snallygaster, Team, Red Island Bear Beast, Silver Giant, Squalling Savage, Black Wolf was kind of average, Stone Giant, Raven, Mocker, Midnight, Whistler, Wampus Beast, Wawa Woman, Ohio Grassman again. Technically, Huckleberry, Wolfman, or Wolf County need to find the axe again if we hunt the Lightning Man. Welch's Werewolf, Deadly Howl, Kentucky Hellhound, Little Girl, Headless Horror, I can't take it anymore. Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber, catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet.
This here's Bigfeets, the first Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. Remember that when there are 20 more crowding the market with big-time celebrities and lucrative endorsements. Their Oreos are sexy. We're Hillbilly Bigfoot Hunter Hydrox. We're the first. I'm Robert Brockway, and I'm the creamy white center in a big black Bigfoot cookie.
And I'm Sean Baby, caught between honor and revenge. How far will I go to win the next Kumite?
And I am award-winning author and essayist Jason Pargin.
One of these days we'll beat your punchline. It's not today, though. All right, before we get into it, we all have other projects, which is why we do this completely insane show for free. Actually, for negative money, we pay quite a bit of money for the honor of doing this show. And we don't have any ads except for the ones we're about to say to you right now. How about Jason?
Yes, the new book that is up for pre-order now in all formats is called I'm Starting to Worry About This Black Box of Doom. If you have doubts, there are early reviews up on Goodreads from people we sent copies to. They are not people we forced to say nice things about it, as far as I know, because I'm sure there's a couple of extremely mean reviews in there, but you can go check that out if you think that, why would this TikTok idiot write a book? Why would we? No, I was writing books before I was doing any of this stuff. Listen to me. The books came first.
Only accidentally.
Yes, it's up for pre-order in all formats, including audiobook. No, I do not read the audiobook. I am not an audiobook narrator.
I love that you accidentally stumbled into the kind of influencer fame that a lot of young people would literally and have literally killed for, and you're just like, fuck it. I don't know.
I just did it to sell books. Yes, I have 500,000 followers on TikTok right now.
The number gets funnier every time as it grows. It's going to be funny when you hit 1 million, which I think you'll do it. I think you'll do it. Before this show ends, because this show is going to go on forever. Before that happens, Sean, anything to plug today?
Sure. I'm Sean Baby, and about 30 years ago, I invented being funny on the internet with a very joke-dense style of irreverence, where I'd find very silly or unusual things and roast them. And I'm still doing that exact same thing, along with a handful of people. We're the last ones doing it at a place called 1-900hotdog.com. You can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/1900hotdog, and support us as we keep this golden age of internet comedy alive. Do it now before everything is just AI lists of nonsense. Yeah, that's the pitch.
Whoops, it's too late. You guys waited too long. It's all that thing you said.
Oh, shit.
Oh, you missed it. I'd like to plug our other podcast, Dog Zone 9000, which is a little looser than this one. We just cover what we call cursed objects. That's just anything. It's not just bad. It's not just, we're going to goof on a bad movie. Like, it should not exist in our universe if all of the laws of reality are working correctly. And we deep dive into things nobody else has ever even seen or cared about. It's a lot of fun. If you're listening to this now and the newest episodes are something called Playing It Straight, don't start there. Don't start on those episodes. Those are bad. Those are the ones that are going to get us destroyed, and rightfully so. It's about a terrible 2000s reality show about hunting secret gay men. It's exactly what it sounds like. We're doing 2 podcast series on it because
we probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah,
we hate success. Start back when it was good on any other episode, or if we get away with it, episodes after that. But do give it a shot. So we are a Mountain Monsters Watch Along podcast. Mountain Monsters is a reality show. That's what they say. It's filmed. It's totally straight. It's not a mockumentary. They are passing
no creatures have been hunted.
That's what it says at the end of every episode, because they legally have to say that, and it's the worst burn. Because this whole show is about hunting. Well, it's now about hunting Bigfoot almost exclusively, even though no, it's not. But they hunt all sorts of creatures, and when I say all sorts of creatures, I don't mean they're gonna hunt like a big fish or something. No, they hunt the alien from Aliens. 5-6 hillbillies go out in the woods and build a wood shack to try to capture the alien from Aliens, and then they all improv getting their fucking asses handed to them by it, because there's no other option in this scenario where you do not actually, you are physically unable to catch a monster that doesn't exist. So they have trapped themselves into sort of ironic hell where they have to look like bigger assholes every single episode, and it's incredible. It's so much fun. We're doing a total series. We're not covering more than 1 episode. It's episode per episode. We're going to be doing this 2026, I think. There are 9 seasons and counting of this show. 9 seasons. Shouldn't have even been 1. There are 9 seasons. Our cast is Trapper. He is the leader. Huckleberry is Bigfoot security. Buck is the rookie, the caller, the husky ninja of our hearts. Jeff is our piss-soaked hillbilly research scientist. Willie is the trapper. And Wild Bill is super high, and it is not safe for him to be around other people right now, but he is. He is.
I do realize that reading off their job titles has to be just confusing. Like, maybe we should skip that part, because I feel like that has to be confusing the listeners more, because all of those job titles become meaningless the moment the episode starts. That, of course,
none
Wild
of them have
Bill
ever done.
Is not the expert tracker. Trapper, is his name, is not the trapper. The Buck is listed as an expert caller. He has called once in 23 episodes, and they totally forgot about that. None of these job titles mean anything. The Huckleberry security, even Jeff's job as the researcher, they are going away from that more with every episode.
Also, every time he brings up research, he's really just spitting shit off the dome, and they hate it. Everybody hates it.
He'll look up, if they go to a county, sometimes he'll read the Wikipedia of the county.
That's true. Which is the last thing anybody wants. I don't give a shit about the county. A Bigfoot ate a child. Well, tell me about that. You had nothing to say. Well, in the 1700s. Shut up, Jeff. So we're watching. I'm never going to stop doing that, because I think it's very funny that they all have job titles and they mean nothing. We're watching Mountain Monsters Season 2, Episode 4, Bigfoot of Lincoln County. We always like to start off by researching whether or not the monster is real. There's no need. I need everybody to brace up. This is a follow-up episode. They're continuing a thing they did. Like in a previous episode, when they beat something and they're like, fuck, it's gone. They're actually coming back to hunt the hellhound again. I mean, it's a year later. A lot of children are dead, but they remembered.
Hey, not only that, the hellhound they hunted in episode 7 of season 1. That episode ended with them saying, well, we missed him this time, but we'll come back again and try next fall. They did the first time. They've actually, and again, is that producer Colt Straub who kept that note and he had a calendar that said, hey, we've got to follow up on this hellhound. The fans want to know.
That fucks everything up so hard that there's now names of production crew involved in this. Now we have people to blame. If you haven't listened to our last episode with a bombshell revelation that people are filming this is a TV show and not just a goof. We met for the first time. They dropped the fourth wall, and we met Colt Straub, the producer, and at least heard of Zach, the worst cameraman who ever lived. And rest in peace, Zach. They've abandoned him to die so many times. The Bigfeet don't want him. He stinks. He tastes bad. There
was a moment when they were hunting the xenomorph, when Willie and Wild Bill went and hid in a little crevice to hide from the xenomorph, and they were being filmed from the outside. They left Zach out there to film them hiding. and did
And
not
if Zach had looked up,
Zach is definitely carrying eggs.
in any way invite Zach in to share their hiding spots. Like, nope, it's exactly big enough for the two of us.
Zach, look up. You can see him, Zach. Zach! This scene has been going on for 4 minutes. Just once.
Just crane your head up a little bit. You will literally see a piece of video that will make you famous forever.
And Zach's just like, fuck you. I'm never doing that.
It would make sense that Zach has been compromised and taken over by like a psychic Bigfoot determined to not get the actual footage.
That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it for the whole production crew. It's all a sleeper op by a psychic Bigfoot. He knows that these guys are really fucking obnoxious, right? Like there's an established lore that these guys allegedly have been around for something like 7 years before they started the show. They hadn't. They obviously met right before then. But if that was true, I'd like to think that in those adventures, Bigfoot realized like they're not a threat, but they're really fucking with his life. And so he has psyoped them into a false TV show just to keep him busy, just to keep him out of his shit.
It makes more sense than what they're trying to get us to believe.
Those who do not remember the Hellhound episode, this was the one where they went into a cornfield and the Hellhound like raced past them and knocked several of them down. And then it's the one where they did that really cool effect with the greenhouse where they had like a spotlight and they set up a shot where they raced like a normal dog across the light and it cast its shadow up across the greenhouse. Still one of the best shots they've done in the show. Like, I see why they wanted to revisit this. It looked really good.
I don't see why they wanted to revisit it. It was one of their more humiliating defeats.
Oh, it's clear at this point that's part of the fetish. They are going back to the ones where they got their asses kicked hard enough, and they literally are trying to figure out how can we top the humiliation from last time, because they never get it back. They never redeem themselves. That's not possible. So it's
definitely a fetish, because remember last episode, Trapper got shoved into the pond, and that humiliation was so erotic they had to leave to fuck in the hotel immediately.
Yeah. They dropped everything. That Bigfoot was just out there going, hey, I thought we were doing something.
Where you guys going?
Got some boners to attend to, Zachfoot. Zach's the Bigfoot now. he's the safest place in the world is behind that camera, right? He's never going to get caught. So they're revisiting the Hellhound. Trapper sums it up. He says, he's 600 pounds, 4 foot to the shoulders, got a mohawk on his back, and he was so black that he was almost blue. And he looks straight at Jeff as he says it, which, remember, it was Jeff's thing in that episode that he kept trying to get every one of the witnesses to say it was blue, and nobody would do it.
Right. Jeff's a big Bernie Mac fan, and I think so black he's almost blue. That's a Bernie Mac joke about his dick.
Jeff is thrown by this, and he says, well, in the 1940s, they called him the Bluish Beast. They had it wrote like that on the wanted poster. Just the weakest goddamn defense.
But somebody photoshops an old-timey wanted poster, not something that exists outside of this episode, where they call it the Bluish Beast. So somebody is trying to back up Jeff here, because again, that was a running thing through the whole previous episode. As he said during the truck briefing, they say it's blue. And no one liked that. They could not. He kept asking the witnesses, now I know you said it was dark, but what color was it? Like, just dark, black, something like that.
You wouldn't say it was blue. No, I wouldn't.
No one went along with this. So I love to see that somebody threw Jeff a bone here.
I think they did the opposite of that. Because I think when he looked right at him and said he was so black, he was almost blue, it was just like, hey, remember that thing you tried to do that we didn't end up doing? I like that the wanted poster also reminds us of the funniest part of that episode, which was that there was a $200 bounty on it back in like the 1800s, which they did not collect. They did not catch them. So that $200 bounty, baby.
That had to lead to some arguments, because this poster was like $200 bounty for the Bluish Beast. It's kind of a large dog wolf. Everything was really not specific. And $200 was a lot of money. Back then it was what, 17.2 billion in today's dollars. But so many people must have brought in dead dogs and coyotes and be like, I caught him. That's not even bluish. They're like, this is kind of bluish. All right, I'll give you $180 for it. I'm just saying that of all the props that they could have made, this is maybe the least believable.
I just love that our stakes are still for $200. If they catch him, if this is the episode,
Yes.
they're each going to get $20.
They've not adjusted that bounty for inflation. It's still the same $200. Now, Trapper does say that, look, I know that we said we're pivoting to an all Bigfoot mission, but when you hear that the Hellhound is back in town, we've decided we had to drop that and go after this instead. Now, will a Bigfoot show up anyway as part of the new format of the show where it's just monsters they chased before, only also Bigfoot is there? Who can say? We're watching this at the same time you are, listeners.
I love so much that this is the new format. I thought they were just going to do that once to ease into it. But to decide we're focusing, to make the bold claim, we're focusing on Bigfoot from now on. And then every single episode be like, I know we said we'd focus on Bigfoot, but I just found Dracula. And then halfway through the episode go, whoops, Dracula's best friends with Bigfoot.
And act like they have never been more shocked by anything in their life.
It makes Bigfoot into like the special guest star. It makes Bigfoot into like the wacky neighbor that you're waiting to Kramer through the door. Everybody goes, there he is.
Hey, say Scratch.
Hey, I knew he was coming in. He made his entrance. God, this show's so magical. So Buck reminds us all, he rode us like dogs in that cornfield. No dignity.
Yeah, he says, we have to come back for him, especially since he eluded us last time like it was nothing.
Like, he rode us like dogs. Also, he is a dog. So it's a dog-ride-dog world out there. The Hellhound has goofed us for the last time. Trapper explains that he's migrating north as the cornfields are picked. So that changes a lot.
Yeah.
Because last time, his diet wasn't corn. They just happened to find him in a cornfield. So now he likes corn.
He's a corn
So that
dog.
takes a lot of the stakes out of a Hellhound right there. I just picked up that you said corn dog.
That just came out. I didn't
all.
mean to say that.
Let's all have a moment of silence. I just love that they fucked it. Like, it's a cool scene.
They're doing another thing here at the start where they're kind of like the Ghostbusters again, where they're getting messages from people that are like, hey, we need your help fighting a monster. And so they're reading comments from their website.
I didn't write any of this down. I didn't want to dignify it with a response.
Did any of you guys, hold on, stop. They have a website. Did any of you guys go look at their website?
I didn't.
Yes.
Okay. Sean, do you have a web browser available
Sure.
without? Okay. It's AIMSA.org. That is the AIMS team because it's still there. They obviously have stopped updating it. But are you now looking at a 1990s era website?
Very nice.
That if you scroll down, there's like a philosopher quote, I think.
From Kierkegaard. The supreme paradox of all thought is the attempt to discover something that thought cannot think.
That's on the front page of the AIMS team website.
Amazing.
Whoever set that website up back in 1996 knew they were fucking with them.
This is incredible. And you go to the contact and it says, let's talk. If you've had a mysterious creature sighting or would like to know more about the AIMS, contact us by email. And then there's their email.
Yeah, they do. Somebody used that. Somebody clicked on that button and was like, help, Bigfoot is killing me right now. And then waited for a response.
So they do a comedy bit where they make Jeff read the messages from the website that came in. And then he doesn't realize that the names are wacky fake names.
Right.
Like curly pubes. And it's all like a big prank on Jeff. But like all of their written comedy bits, it's just dire.
I was hoping we would just skip right over that. Although you're right, we should talk about it because it is yet another way to humiliate Jeff. Like right off the bat, it is really just, they have opened that turn. Like they have just said, this is part of our format. This is the new format. We have to cuck Jeff in every episode, or else it just doesn't feel like we got started yet. And they're right. They're right to do it.
I want to just make some comments about Jeff's acting choices because you would think that there would be time between reading the fake names. He's like, oh, Drew P. Balls sent that one in. Okay, great. Oh, this one's from Curly S. Pubes. Okay. And then Trapper says, hey, you got some good leads there, Jeff. Droopy Balls, Curly Pubes. We got to follow up on those. And everyone laughs. And then Jeff just starts laughing. He doesn't make the choice to be like, oh, I just got pranked. He just starts laughing. And so I was like, what the fuck kind of choice was that? Very frustrating. I really fucking hate when they try to do their comedy bits, is my point.
It's rough. It is rough. Okay, our first witness. God, there have been some good ones. I almost don't want to say this out loud. One of my favorite witnesses, he's a corn farmer named Jay, and why he's my favorite witness is he's out literally standing in his corn. Mm-hmm. He's just hiding in the middle of corn because that's where corn farmers live.
I think I shared a screen grab of this when I was watching it.
And you can't see him. He's just behind rows and rows of corn in his idle animation, waiting to be pinged by the Ames team. God, the fields are good enough, but then he's just standing in the middle of tall corn, half concealed, just powered down. Trapper has been doing this thing every once in a while where he tries to prove to various people with manly or salt of the earth jobs that he's one of them by sharing some knowledge. He says, Jay, you gotta know why you pick sweet corn first thing in the morning. And Jay really sullenly says, sure do. Like, he doesn't elaborate. He's just like, yeah, I do know that. What do you want? And Trapper says, oh, you gotta pick them in the morning with the dew on them so the leaves won't cut you. He's doing like this Alex Trebek on Jeopardy thing where he looks up one thing to sound like a pro, but it always makes him sound like he just looked up one thing. It's worse if he had said nothing. Jay was out here on his corn tractor, I don't know, and saw him a hellhound. It was as long as a man, not quite halfway up on the corn, imperial measurement system. This is something we haven't done in a while. Buck decides, or perhaps remembers, he was supposed to be the Scully of the group, so he's gonna play skeptic this episode, based on nothing.
They pull this out like once every 8 episodes where he's like, because what he says is absolutely correct. What you saw was a bear. Like, the black bears are common here in Kentucky. You saw a bear. You saw something this high, this long in your corn. It was dark. You saw a bear. But why choose this episode when you're hunting a creature that has already previously attacked you?
Yeah, this is the one you have seen and actually touched. This is the one that knocked you on your butt? Do you remember that?
Yeah, he's like, explains, I'm a bear hunter, and I know this was a dog creature. Also, these are the cornfields where you fucking battled a hellhound, the thing you're here to hunt.
It's such a fucking wild choice to be a skeptic on this episode. Do it last episode with the wild man. You hadn't seen him before. Be like, I don't think there's any... I think he's a tame man. I think he's a mild... Yeah. I know there are mild Bigfeet. I don't believe there are wild Bigfeet. What?
And when they found people in the woods, it wasn't Buck who said, maybe they just owned the barn we're intruding in. He was the one who says, we've got to fight them.
We have to kill them.
They're stalking us. He immediately bought into that. But yeah, because their whole thing about this situation is that it's not the hellhound's territory. It's a little bit further north, and they think it's because of the pattern that the corn is harvested. It's like, so is finding the hellhound, which previously attacked you and knocked you down in a cornfield, finding it several miles north, is that weirder than the 37 Bigfeet you have personally been chased by in your golf carts? Like, why would your skepticism kick in now?
I have one more thing I'd like to say is the concept of corn being harvested like it's a video game map getting rendered in is also very strange. There's no reason for each farmer to be like, I gotta wait for the guy south of me to farm his corn.
Slipped right past me. But yeah, corn is not harvested in a wave across the United States. But they also try to use that for steaks, because they say like, oh, that's been harvested south from here, driving him up here, but we're still 2 or 3 weeks out from harvest. So all these migrant workers are going to be eaten by hellhounds, so that's our steaks.
That's keep that tucked away, because that is explicitly what they say. The Jay says, my crew is going to be out here in a few weeks. I'm scared to bring the workers out here to start doing the harvesting, which I guess they do it by hand, with this hellhound about. So that if they don't catch the hellhound, this guy's corn workers will be eaten.
Yep. So, and also, if they come back, if it's the first time ever they want to revisit, like, we're back here for revenge, There's no way. There's just no way you would get punked even harder the second time. We're watching it live. We don't know. Our jaws are gonna be on the floor if that happens.
If the hellhound does eat some migrant workers, it will be the first time they do that, just to be clear. Like, we haven't had any disappearances. The stakes so far are it ate a bit of corn. And there's a potential it will eat some men.
Just to refresh people's memory, last time the hellhound, the guy had a calf and it had like skin missing from its back. And they declared that to be the hellhound victim, that it had gone after one of his little cows and tore some skin off. And we decided he had a cow that had a skin infection or something, and that they decided to make that the hellhound attack victim. But that's the one. This is also the one where Willie, we'll get to it, but Willie built arguably his most embarrassing trap, where it was a box of bamboo in the middle of a wide open grass field. There's like a tree and the bamboo was suspended, and the idea was that the hellhound would not notice this thing hanging in the middle of this. It was visible for miles around. So clearly they will learn that lesson.
Yeah. So remember that. Actually remember that, because that is a remarkable moment coming up. I assume, having not watched it yet. So we're in the night investigation. Buck is still adamant this is a black bear and not the hellhound that embarrassed him just last year. Trapper, I think Trapper's environmental storytelling abilities are off in this one, because he tries. He sees some corn like trampled and eaten on the ground, and he spins it all up and he says, "Okay, here we go. All right. See how this corn is down here on the ground, real low, like it's been knocked down. And it's bare. Parts of it are bare, like it could be eaten. That could mean it was eaten. And seen. Good work. Good. Huzzah. Huzzah, Trapper."
A couple of times they complain how it's like, God, we can't really see anything here at the night. But it's like, why did you do it at this time of the day?
Buck reiterates that, you know who eats stuff? Bears. Good additions all the way around. Glad we did this. They start to meander through the cornfield, and I knew immediately, before they even said it, you guys are lost. You could just see it on their face. We have become lost. And they suddenly freeze. You go like, you hear that? And then they all go, oh no, I know what that sound is. That's a bear chomping. So they now, I assume what they mean is like some behavior a bear does with its jaw that means it's feeling threatened. I wonder if they call it bear chomping. I didn't research it. I got a gut feeling they don't call it bear chomping, because that's real goofy.
Bears are famous for hiding in cornfields and quietly gnashing their teeth as a display of power. Funny fact, they can't make noises, bears. All they can do is gnash their teeth in strange ways. And then stealthily sprint through a crowd of men. That's the standard bear attack, is to just zip between their legs while they're standing in a cornfield.
You know what else bears do? Not show up on thermal. Jeff pulls out his thermal camera and is like, I've got nothing. No, you do that when there's a cryptid to make them seem mysterious. When it's an animal that exists, it doesn't work. It just means there's nothing there. Because like bears would show up on thermal. We know that. You know what? I haven't researched that. I'm not willing to commit to that. Like, of course, there's not really a bear. Bears are not that dangerous, which is why there's the whole meme about meeting a bear in a cornfield instead of 4-armed hillbillies. You know which one you choose. But then it roars and charges and turns into a hellhound. Did you guys have any idea what happened here? Because it roars, it charges, then they all go, whoa, that's a hellhound. What?
It's almost like they tried to improvise an encounter, but did not agree in advance what thing they were going to run into. So afterwards, because they're going to do that thing they did last time, because they like filming in the tall corn, because they can have somebody run past and kind of knock them over, and it disturbs the grow of corn. And then what eventually Buck is going to say is, well, that bear was chomping its teeth at the hellhound because it was scared of the hellhound. So we initially came up and heard a bear, and then we got knocked over by the hellhound. And that's because they never agreed on, okay, is it a bear? And then Jeff would not agree to see anything on thermal. It was not one of their better improv moments.
I think that Jason's right, that's what they ended up landing on, but I don't think that had fully formed when they started the scene.
So just Zach running by in the cornfield, fucking with them. I love that we have a name.
Yes.
Just any
it's the
name
best.
of anybody involved.
They do that thing they do also where they just fought a bear and a hellhound. They've decided that both of those creatures are here in the corn. And now they're like, all right, let's call it a night. Ha ha ha, what a fun night. Well, they're still very much in danger, surrounded by a maze of corn and beasts.
I wanted to acknowledge that as in the Mountain Monsters drinking game. That's because this is one that now comes up in almost every episode. Encounter with the creature, immediately declared that the danger is over, even though there's no reason this thing knocked you over. You didn't see it run into the next county. It could have circled around. It could be doubling back. It could be right there. The whole point of being in the corn, the reason they like shooting that is because there's no visibility. So it could be right here, but it could be right here. And they're just like, all right, well, that's the end of the first night hunt. By the way, we probably should have done this during the day. Now that we think about it, would have been easier to see because we were here during the day. We talked to that guy. We could have just started the hunt right then.
Trevor says like, oh, this leaves us with a lot of questions, but most of all, which way to the forest golf cart? I fucking knew it. I knew you were already lost. It's the only part of this I believe. I believe they get lost the second they walk into that corn.
Hey guys, there's going to be multiple moments throughout this episode when it's clear they act like they've never seen corn before, let alone walked in a cornfield, because they are going to be continually surprised by every element of being in a cornfield, like the fact that it's not weird to see stalks that have been knocked over or broken. They're going to act exactly the way I would act if dropped in the middle of a cornfield.
They are fucking floored that there are like paths to it. There are paths in and around it and entrances to it. We'll get to it. Right now we're going to Wild Bill and Willie's Crackhead Trap Shack. Wild Bill rolls up and his truck is broken. Wouldn't you know it? Already you can smell a bit. He's lurching all over the place, and sure enough, Willie arrives and opens the hood, and it turns out Wild Bill has a bunch of corn in tinfoil nestled all around the engine, absolutely burnt to a crisp. God bless their comedy sketch. But my favorite part is yet to come. What's this on the underside of the hood? Wild Bill has drawn his own wanted poster, even though they had one made, and it's a fat horse with a rat tail and an armadillo head. It says, Wanted Lincoln County. And then it says Hellhound in the middle. And at the bottom, it says Wild Bill. And next to that, it says USMC, like exactly the spot where a child would put what grade they're in. Sean, what would you say if your kid brought this home?
God, I'd be so proud that she joined the Marines at age 7.
If this is the real bit, it's a good bit. I love his childlike drawings that are implying...
It's the perfect way to describe the way he writes USMC.
I do want to point out that within the fiction of the show and possibly in real life, he is a line worker for the local power company. So again, the idea that he is basically Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia... where he's barely literate and has the childlike intellect of a 4-year-old, and the idea that he's up there with these power lines that could just instantly fry a man in half if you did it one little bit wrong. It's great.
Right, they're doubling down on the bit over and over again, but it's only season 2 and they've doubled down so far that you're like, okay, within the fiction of this universe, he's mentally disabled. He's very much illiterate. Somebody needs to help him, get him some sort of specialty service. This is not okay to make this man fight cryptids.
Now, in the last episode, they broke a seal in that somebody made a joke about Wild Bill's drug use, saying when he said, hey, go on and trip the trap. Well, I bet this isn't the first time Wild Bill's been tripping. So when they're doing the corn bit, they're going to say something.
Wild Bill says, Willie asks him, what the hell are you doing? And he says, cooking engine corn, of course.
Yeah.
And Wild Bill says, you remember that hellhound? He run a guts out of me and you got that corn there. I got there roasted, be meth, and all fueled. And vaudeville zip.
And then he said, cut. When I was in Juilliard and I trained as an actor, we'd like to give a few options. I'd like to try that from the top again. Can I get another wad of corn, please?
Shit. So we're back to the classics. We're doing this new joke where we acknowledge that Wild Bill has a crippling drug problem. But we're also back to the classics where food stuff. Wild Bill has, God remember his short-lived Woods Paladin phase. The start of this season, when he was like, the power of Christ compels Bigfoot.
Yep.
He is now back to his old class, which I'm not sure what to call it, but he eats monsters and monster-adjacent things for power. And that's my favorite class. That's my favorite class that has ever existed. This time, he adamantly says, I'm going to start consuming corn, so I'm going to be ready to put the smack down on this hellhound. Fuck yeah, Wild Bill. Although, it's just corn.
It's just corn.
It was a little fucked up when he was like eating a bunch of pork to get in the headspace of a hogzilla, right? Like you're like, oh, okay, I get what. And it's a little fucked up when he threatened to cut like even steaks off of Mothman's ass. But now you're just like, I'm gonna eat corn. Okay, that's not threatening.
This was 100% to set up him saying, I'm methanol fueled.
Yeah,
that is
it was
the
for the line.
only reason because he saw the corn, they were shooting near cornfields, and then he got it in his head. Or Colt Straub, executive producer, got it in his head. Corn, methanol, get it? Because obviously you eat corn, you're not eating methanol. That's not how that works, unless you're trying to make a joke that you know people are going to notice because you've seen the comments at this point, and we know they've seen the comments because Huckleberry is infuriated by the comments.
It's true. You've got a picture. We're really incorporating the audience into the reception into this space. I just love that they actually show them eating the corn. Like, I don't have enough faith in this production to credit them with getting edible corn for them to do that. I do think they took that out of the engine, in which case I think they both had crippling diarrhea for the rest of this episode. Just eating exhaust corn, just smash cutting hours later, Wild Bill and Willie squatting in a cornfield screaming and shitting themselves to death as their friends are devoured as screams just in the distance. We survived, but at what cost? Willie got that Jason Pargin note from Out of Time last time. He says, okay, well, I think we messed up putting that giant box in the middle of a field with nothing around it. Yeah. This is so revelatory, right? This is the first time he has looked at something and been like, well, I made a mistake doing this. Like, it's not the Bigfoot got out of it. It's not the ground melted. It's not my fucking hole filled with rain while it was raining. He just said, huh, was that stupid? That's such a dangerous question for any of these men to ask because everything unravels.
God, you could just feel their universe ripple.
It would almost be like if one of them said at the end of, when they got time for the final night hunt, like, now we're not going to do a pincer maneuver because we found that is not effective. Like, it's a perfectly reasonable thing to say, but you would be floored if they said it. That's not the kind of thing. These guys do not learn their lessons.
I feel like if anybody said that, they would be looked at like all of the black and white citizens of Pleasantville looked at the people turning into color. Just, what? It would just exploding revelations behind their eyes.
The next episode, they're like leaving a witness meeting saying, well, we didn't really learn anything useful from that witness because all they had was a fuzzy photo and we already knew it was here, so that didn't help us.
That's going to be Willie. Willie has fucked himself. Willie's just doped up on engine corn and it turns out to be unlocking like the greater secrets of the universe. Someone's
going to say, hey, why are we bothering with the trap? We all brought our guns. Aren't we planning to kill it?
And next episode, it's Billy. Billy's in here. Willie's gone, never to be discussed again. So this time, they've decided, because it was maybe stupid to build a giant box hanging from a tree in the middle of nowhere, this time they're going to build it in the cornfield where the hellhound is, so that maybe he won't be able to see it, and they act like that's revelatory instead of what a child would do the first time. To test it, Willie has to do a fun little stunt. This time, he brought a hound out, but he's not going to run the hound through the trap. That might actually be, I don't know, that might prove something. But also, those doors would come down like guillotines and cut that dog in half, which I don't think you're allowed to do on TV anymore. So instead, he's going to have the hound race Wild Bill. And that's going to help him understand the extent that he can tire out Wild Bill before they go home, I guess?
His exact words were, "That'll let me gauge and understand how this trap's going to be set up." So this is a scientific measurement of speed. They're going to race Wild Bill and a dog to get the speed of a hellhound.
When you're out with your kid and you say, "Okay, honey, we're going to play a game where you run around this bench as many times as you can because I want to watch a TV show later tonight."
Right. We're going to play a how long can you stay quiet game.
Yes.
In the context of this production, I think what Cold Strop would say if he was here is that, like, each time they do this segment, and obviously, you know, this is where they discussed what trap they're going to build, but they've not started building it yet, so you don't necessarily have that stuff. They always decide the show needs something here. It needs some energy. And they actually put more of a burden on Willie and Wild Bill than the rest of the team because they're sort of sleepwalking through their witness investigation. They do the hunt the same every time. But with Willie and Wild Bill, it's like, no, we need you to improvise some kind of a slapstick comedy sketch here at this point in the episode and they have to come up with, so like last week they did the thing where they did the truck pull, you know, to test the fencing. And previously in the cave creature episode, they came up with a wire noose that would catch the creature. And they said, well, Wild Bill, go out in the cow pasture and try to strangle a cow with this cable. And they have him do some kind of wacky, extremely dangerous, you know, power tool shenanigans. Do some golf cart goofing where you almost break your neck because you crashed a golf cart into a tree. Just do some. So I admit they actually have to come up with something on the day, on the spot that's fun. And here it's like, well, we'll see who's faster, Wild Bill or this dog. And I don't know, they're trying.
Yeah, it almost kills Wild Bill. He's so tired after losing horribly to the dog. He looks like he's going to die. So that was productive.
Yeah. He ran a full 20-yard dash. He's ready to die. I want to talk about their findings, right? So they find that the dog is faster than Wild Bill, and that's too fast for the trap. If the hellhound's running through, he'll be out the other side of the trap before the door falls. And so the answer to that is, of course, to build a longer trap. No, Willie decides, what if we just slow him down? And so they put like a little net in the middle so the dog will race into the trap and hit the net and then slow down.
Can you give them a little credit? Because when he said, we got to slow him down, my first thought was, he's going to pour molasses on the ground.
Yeah, I really thought it was going to be like some puddles of honey or like, I don't know, an old magazine. We left a magazine that the hellhound will stop to read.
Sexy Hellhounds Monthly.
This is, on paper, not a bad idea for a trap.
Sure.
You have a fast creature that opens on both ends. If you can channel it through there, it's going to get tangled in the net. Both doors will come down. Logically, on paper, it's legitimately not bad. I will give them that.
Yeah, I really thought they were going to do some Looney Tunes shit and just put some flypaper in there or something. Like that's the level they're normally working on. The next eyewitness is named John. He's also a farmer. He's I want to say he's about 75 years old. He's wearing full denim. He's wearing what looks like a suede fedora with a hemp hat band. Obviously, John is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
And the first thing he says it like this. People call me Johnny Ginseng.
They don't,
Fuck
though.
yeah,
we
they
saw
do.
in the graphics, you're John.
In the previous episode, they had a witness named John. So if they're distributing names to the witnesses, they were very lazy. But Johnny Ginseng, who I 100% think is an actor they brought in, because he's good. He is one of the best witnesses they've ever had in terms of how convincing he is. He's got this old man storyteller vibe. He goes along with every bit of... Because they task him with like introducing a plot twist here, and he does it. He delivers it perfectly. No, this guy's great. This guy outperforms. Also, when the team comes rolling up, so Huckleberry and Trapper now have matching leather overcoats, like raincoats, like $800 like trench coats or whatever, extremely fancy. Buck has a fancy new North Face or some kind of fancy, like, because it's raining. These guys are spending their Mountain Monsters cash. They roll
Trapper
up to
and
this
Huckleberry
witness.
is so fucking cute. They're so in love.
they roll up like a bunch of pimps. Now, Jeff is dressed exactly in the same faded overalls he's always got on, but these guys are pimped out. I actually took a screenshot here that I'm looking at just to inspire myself. I didn't even share it.
So stylish. Yeah. Well, when you shared a picture of Johnny Ginseng, and I was like, finally, someone knew they're going to be on TV, and they got dressed up. He is in a bright blue denim suit and a wet suede fedora, and I was like, this guy is putting on a show.
He fucking rules. This is in S tier witnesses, Johnny Ginseng. Came up with the name?
Oh, I hope he improvised that. I hope they told him he's John, even though they had a witness named John. He's like, they turned the cameras on. I'm Johnny Ginseng. And then Buck is so thrown for a loop. He's like, is that like Johnny Appleseed? And you can tell that Johnny Ginseng's like, okay, buddy, don't.
Yeah. No, you're outclassed.
Yeah, stay quiet.
Yeah, he still yes-anded him, but he's like, well, we're ending the bit.
I believe he says a different plant.
Yeah,
which is a complete shutdown. There's nothing to use on that. That's like
that joke you just made, Buck, is nothing.
He's so good. I would not be upset if every witness from now on was him. Like they just put him in different hats and stuff.
Yeah, oh, I'd love that.
Yeah, and he could just tell you I'm a different thing. I'm Mickey Moonshine. Fuck yeah, you are.
They call me Lady Diane Mushroom.
I got a wig.
Beautiful wig. Little parasol he's twirling. Of course. S tier fucking witness. So he says the hellhound comes through every year like clockwork, and he just never bothered to tell anybody because Johnny Ginseng ain't no narc. That's such a complication. I was gonna let that go, but if it comes through here every year, what the fuck are we doing here? It hasn't hurt anybody. You have proof?
It's just part of the ecosystem. There's no emergency. It obviously didn't bother that guy's corn crew last year.
The answer to that is, well, I guess we're going home. He had an encounter a couple of weeks ago. Johnny Ginseng was out Johnny Ginsenging. I mean, that is right there. When he heard a growl and seen something in the corn. It was big, black, and had a head like a dog. And Buck says, and you're sure what you seen couldn't be a bear. He's doing the skeptic thing again. When the last scene he was in, he was attacked by a hellhound.
You just fought a hellhound, you dumb fat idiot.
You admitted it was a hellhound. Why are you asking him if he saw a bear? You have hellhound teeth marks in your ample ass.
Not just that. In his own improv, they found a bear that was scared of the hellhound. They separately saw a bear, and then they saw it got knocked over by a hellhound. So it's like he's asking Johnny Ginseng, now we know for a fact there's a bear and a hellhound out here. You sure you didn't see the bear? It's like, well, that's irrelevant.
It's the worst. It's so, he doesn't understand the skeptic role. Like Scully doesn't say, I don't think this is an alien while the alien is strangling her. Like even in that moment, she puts it aside for the minute to believe. If she was literally attacked by the monster, she would not be going, now, did you just see like an alien-shaped balloon?
Plus, Johnny Ginseng shuts this shit down because he has a trail camera photo, and it is incredible. It's a shot of it's a blurry dog in black and white, very rare sighting, but definite proof of hellhound, at the very least.
I mean, can I point out the last time they had video? The last time they hunted the hellhound, they had a video of it.
Yeah.
And now they've degraded it all the way down to, not even an iPhone shot of it. It was a trail camera, but
trail camera photo of a dog.
It's amazing.
But of course, that's not why we're talking to this guy.
No.
I mean, if we're going to play that, we actually, now that footage counts, now that we've established like footage counts, like the actual footage they're using is something they can go back and watch. You guys could go back and watch that episode, and that's a bunch of evidence that beats this.
Sure.
Like, remember when it ran through the greenhouse and you saw the shape of it?
Oh yeah, you could just look at that. I just thought it was funny that like Buck was so condescending to this guy, like, hey, you sure it wasn't a bear? And like he sees this half a blurry dog on a trail camera, and he's like, oh, okay, cool, so you did see the hellhound. But I have a question for you, Buck. Are you sure you didn't see a picture of a bear, get all scared and confused, little sweetheart? Fucking asshole.
JG, I can call him that because we're chill. JG is a class act. He says, well, now I tell you, it weren't even the hellhound I put that camera out for. He looked up that ridge there and he saw one of them there Bigfoot creatures, I believe. Fucking killer delivery. I butchered it. Johnny's a pro. delivers this Bigfoot revelation like it hasn't happened. It's so good, you think it hasn't happened every single episode. You think he's not Kramering in for audience claps signs.
I would love for one of these episodes for somebody, maybe Huckleberry, say, "Oh yeah, they're all over." Yeah, that's not uncommon. But we're mainly here for the Hellhound. But yeah, no, there's Bigfeet all over this area.
Or even somebody to just throw their hands up and be like, "There it is." I fucking knew it. We can't do anything without fucking Bigfoot. When he says he saw a Bigfoot here, they sell the reaction so hard it comes back around to sarcastic. I want to look at Trapper and pull Trapper out. What Trapper does is when he hears this news, he bends totally over at the waist so that his whole upper body is parallel to the ground, and he cocks his head like he's doing a rooster impression, and he goes, "Oh, really?" Watch it. It's fucking insane what he does.
Because he is trying to outact this guy who's clearly a pro. Because the guy tells the story. He's like, "I was laying on the couch. I heard something hit the house like kaboom." And he says he saw like a 7 or 8 foot tall Bigfoot looking in his kitchen window, and that, that ran away from the light. And he's just selling it so well. And I think Trapper's like, I've got to get into space with this guy. That the only way he knows to do it is to just act like it's shocking that these creatures that are more common than field mice in this region.
Like all amateur actors, he went big to try to match the energy of a pro. Yeah.
When old Johnny Ginseng was playing it small and just stealing the show. Okay, what Johnny says is that he could only move in the dark. He's terrified of light. So he's a reverse wild man. We previously met a Bigfoot who demanded all daylight as a sign of respect, whereas this one shuns it and views it as disgusting.
What's a reverse Jared Leto? A Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, I'll give that to you.
Okay.
A Gyllenfoot.
A Chiwetel Ejiofor. That's what I'm looking for. That's a reverse Jared Leto.
I like Gyllenhaal. Now they have to figure out how to keep Gyllenfoot from destroying the trap after they catch the Hellhound, because that's a foregone conclusion. Like, I know it has happened in their episodes before where they caught the Chupacabra, and then Bigfoot prison broke the Chupacabra. God, that sentence is so good. I'm so privileged to get to say that sentence in a professional capacity. Thank you. I mean, we should all be so lucky. But they just assume, like, it's unspoken now. He's gonna bust out that Hellhound. That's what Bigfeet do.
That's the line from Trapper is, "What we haven't figured out is how to keep that Bigfoot from destroying that trap and releasing the Hellhound."
You don't know that they're friends. He was just there.
Not at all. You just know that they're both in that region, as are hundreds of other animals.
Like, it met a bear and they were not friends.
Yeah, exactly.
They skip right over that. We all know Bigfoot's jailbreaking all the other cryptids.
I don't know if we gave them this note, but it is good storytelling to have sort of planted the seed for how they're going to keep the Bigfoot away. With Johnny Ginseng's like, "Well, he got real scared of the light. Maybe you should keep that in mind for later, but I'll keep moving on with the rest of the story." So yeah, that's what we know. We know the Bigfoot's weakness, because this is a reverse Jared Leto Bigfoot. He hates the light. We're going to cut to Wild Bill and Willie's Crackhead Trap Shack. They are out there in the cornfield. And I want to remind you, they said earlier, Huckleberry was so impressed. He said it was 250 acres of corn. And Wild Bill and Willie walk out into that corn, and within 30 seconds, they stumble across the Hellhound Highway, the path all Hellhounds use to get around. And here's their plan. They're going to build a laser tag base in the center of the corn maze. A wooden hallway, a brilliant trap.
But first they need to clear some corn, and so Wild Bill does that with the best tool for the job. We have a tool just for this. That's right, it's an axe.
Axe, yeah. Start swinging around to do axe shenanigans.
Corn is not secured very well, so it just kind of bends. It doesn't work at all. But of course, Wild Bill does tell the bending corn he is not cutting. Get you some! And
here I am legitimately becoming concerned that either they have blown their budget already, or maybe they're saving it all up for a spectacular thing later. But this trap, the sides are made out of wood pallets that
they draw attention
that
to
they stole from behind a grocery store, and the roof is made out of those rustic planks that they have now used in 5 traps. Those ones with the bark on the side.
My favorite character, planks.
Plank's appearance.
I love seeing them.
If you're drinking at home, Planks have made an appearance.
Would never have thought those would become a recurring character in this show.
Take a drink for Planks. Oh, God damn it. It's the cheapest looking piece of shit they've ever made.
I can't fucking
It's
believe how bad
extremely
this is.
sad. Even the supposed net mechanism that's supposed to be like, well, he'll hit this net and that'll cause the... There's no mechanism. They just kind of dangled a volleyball net or whatever
Yeah, it's
kind
just
of net
a real cheap net.
It is pollution. They have made pollution.
I built better forts than this as a very drunk child.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's just if I was out there in the cornfield and came upon that, I would say, God, I'm so sick of these people dumping garbage in my cornfield.
Yeah. You'd barely know someone tried to build something. You think like someone dropped some shit.
So we're out here to do our day investigation?
What?
They're out scouting the connection between Bigfoot and the Hellhound, which they have already assumed. Are they running together? Is it a coincidence? What the hell's going on? And they cut to all the boys riding in their forest golf cart, right as Huckleberry says, this is a quote, I'm going to yell it like Huckleberry, "Look how thick it is here! Damn! The terrain here in Lincoln County is ungodly rough. On this side, miles of cornfield. Perfect Hellhound country. On this side, straight up and down, perfect Bigfoot country." They actually show us this terrain, and they are driving on a perfectly smooth, perfectly flat, totally cleared grass path with two well-worn wheel ruts, which illustrates people drive this all the time.
You would not plant a cornfield right next to a vertical cliff. And they have not. It's woods. It's just, it's trees.
Yeah.
It's trees, perfectly a wide highway-sized lane for their vehicles, their farming vehicles. And they are shocked by the size of this cornfield. Like they have never seen anything like it, even though it is exactly the size of a cornfield you would expect to see anywhere in that region.
Imagine if they went to like Nebraska. Like it would ruin them.
They'd be mauled by hellhounds the second they got out of that car. Okay, so there's a part here, I'm sure you noticed it, when they're like, "Stop the side-by-side!" And they like go back to something in the cornfield, and they get out and they look like they found the fucking lost city of Zinj. And they zoom in on what Huckleberry saw, and it is just a corn stalk. I don't even think it's disturbed. It is just corn.
It's jostled.
And what did they say? They're like, "Look at all the damage all up here. That's Bigfoot damage."
Big classic Bigfoot damage.
I can't stress enough how, to my satisfaction, they did not even show a single thing that could be anything other than undisturbed corn plant growing.
It looks like to me like somebody was on that lane and had to turn around and go back, and they backed into the corn and knocked over like 3 stalks and then drove away. It's just literally nothing. Like if you drove around the outside of that field, you would see many spots like that where a cow has walked into it, literally anything. But also, I want to know something. So Buck is not with them because he apparently is off at his job as a sushi chef.
Definitely sushi chef.
So they've got an empty spot in the golf cart. I would not have been disappointed if they had brought Johnny Ginseng along with them.
Oh, good idea.
I know that that's not the way it works because the whole deal is they're investigating his lead about where this thing, the route it takes. It's like, it would have made sense for them to have him. I don't know. I know it's he's not part of the team, but I'm just saying I wouldn't have been sad if they.
Yeah. At least we got to see Planks.
Because why not? You got an empty seat.
Yeah.
Can we be real? What if you replace Jeff with Johnny Ginseng? Because like 100% of Jeff's bullshit would sound like smooth whiskey coming from Johnny Ginseng's mouth. Like if he delivered that back in the 1700s, the Shawnee Indians, like, fuck yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Ginseng. That's what happened.
Now, why don't I just open up my ham pocket and distribute some treats?
Oh, even
God.
that's cool.
Yeah, even that's pretty great, Johnny Ginseng.
All right, so they found some jostled corn and cut to commercial on that. Fucking hard out to corn. If there was a script, it would say hard out on corn.
I do want to give credit when they come back. Trapper does, with a perfectly straight face, say the line, "Look at all that damage up there. That's Bigfoot damage." Doesn't crack a smile. Like, he can deliver lines like that. When he's not working off somebody else, I couldn't keep a straight face saying that.
Yeah, he doesn't have great chemistry with Johnny Ginseng, but like he can really shine on his own.
He elaborates that son of a bitch Bigfoot come in here just about 4 rows and bang! Bigfoot Hellhound intersection. Just 4 rows into the corn? Because you can see that.
They're not walking any further than that. It had to be right there.
That is technically not in the cornfield.
For 2 good reasons. 1, they'll get lost. 2, the farmer said you guys are not allowed to go into the cornfield.
Yeah, Huckleberry reminds us we all have to be careful now that we know Bigfoot and the Hellhound are friends. Because the last time and the Hellhound are friends, bro, his Bigfoot friend broke him out. Just fucking fantastic.
They say the phrase, the Hellhound is doing Bigfoot's dirty work.
The Hellhound is doing goddamn Bigfoot's dirty work. And then Huckleberry says, you can't deny the evidence.
The evidence is corn, and the dirty work is undisclosed. What does that mean? Is eating the migrant workers? Is that like what they're talking about? Because he hasn't done that yet. Running through the cornfields? What has the Hellhound done?
I just like to think of Bigfoot like Dr. Claw style. Just sitting in a chair like, yes, eat the corn. Eat a gentle amount of corn.
Welcome, authorities. You can't do anything. All the crimes were done by the Hellhounds. Like, no, we're building a RICO case against you, Bigfoot.
God damn it, he's right. We're going to get you one way or another. It's inspection time. And here's where you have to give it to Trapper. He comes up on this pile of child garbage and says, son of a bitch, what a trap! And then he says the funniest thing he could possibly say in this scenario, give me the grand tour, Willie!
We should all have a boss as supportive. Like 1-900 Hot Dog is a very supportive environment. I do not think you guys can either of you claim to be as supportive of a boss as
No,
Trapper is.
Never.
Because if you saw the article equivalent of this trap,
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
you would be pretty harsh about it, I think, at least privately.
Absolutely.
If I turned in an article that was just the word but and then it said funny word, huh? And Sean was like, God damn, that's a great article.
You did a terrific job.
I would know he was being sarcastic.
It's true.
And I would understand that I'd forgotten that I had taken severe brain damage and this was my cue to go to the hospital.
That is most of our writing process, though, is that you send in an article about butts and then go to the hospital. And I tell you what a great job you did.
He says, give me the grand tour, Willie. And we actually pan over the box to show that it is, I want to say 8 feet long. And they all cram into the box. And that's the end of the tour because it's just a box.
Made out of pallets, made out of old pallets and those reused planks.
However, it's tough to give him any credit for this trap. But what Willie has done is listened to Johnny Ginseng's weakness of the Bigfoot gambit. And so he has put up lights. We know he hates light. So this is what's going to keep Bigfoot from freeing his best hellhound friends is motion sensing lights. That's the real trap, is security lights.
Do you think he put those up, or do you think they built a little hallway out of trash near this farmer's lights?
Yes. They're actually established lights. Like, you did not route
no
electricity out here and pour the concrete for this pole. You built it next to some security lights, which, work smarter, not harder. He got an afternoon off out of that. So Willie has acquired, or rather found, some security lights, and Trapper just goes, okay, well now we're going after this son of a bitch. Long pause. The Hellhound. Because there are plural sons of bitches now. The Hellhound son of a bitch, not the Bigfoot son of a bitch. They're both sons of bitches, but different genuses? Is that the right one? You get it.
Have you gotten to the part where they test the trap yet, or are we waiting for that?
No. Did you have something to say about that?
Listeners, at 25 minutes and 27 seconds in this episode, they are going to demonstrate that the trap's vertical doors on both ends close, which is just by Willie's going to pull a little rope, and then they cut to a separate shot of them closing because the mechanism obviously does not actually work. When one of the doors closes, one of the boards falls off of it. It is at 25:27 in the episode. It's not the first time they do it. They do like a quick cutting thing, and they try to cut away real fast to not reveal the fact that when the supposed hellhound-proof door and Bigfoot-proof door slammed down, one of the vertical boards falls off to the ground.
Incredible.
It is. I know I'm delirious from having watched all of these episodes several times and that we've been recording for a very long time. I laughed so hard, and I'm trying to restrain myself because I'm watching the clip again. And because it cuts right from that to Huckleberry like explaining their grand plan. It's like the sad trap. It's so poorly put together that the impact of the door closing, it fell apart.
You know, there's something to be said here about toxic positivity. If we were all true friends in this scenario, Trapper would walk up on this and see Willie standing next to it, and he wouldn't say a word. He would walk up and he would throw an arm over Willie's shoulder and take him off to the side just out of mic range and say, like, is everything okay with you? I mean, it feels like things have been off for a little bit, but I look at this and I can't say it's not your best work. It's not work.
Or Destination America gave you $75 to buy materials for this trap. What did you do with the money?
I recognize those planks.
I recognize those planks, and those are pallets you got from behind Home Depot. You got from where they stacked them next to their dumpster. And this net you got off your badminton court by your house.
Is it drugs? Because you can't buy a lot of drugs for $75, so I don't think it's drugs. Porn? Could be porn. We have to do all of this again because Buck isn't here. So this is the night hunt. We're now in the final night hunt, and Buck has finally got a shift off from the Dollar General.
From the Bikini Wax Parlor.
From the Kirby Fashion Show.
I don't know why it makes me laugh, but hedge fund manager?
I do love him having a really high pressure, just finance bro type job where he's just screaming at people on the phone.
And then this is the only thing that vents the stress. They show him the trap. Buck does not real sell. He's like, oh, wow, lights. Huh? Yeah, okay.
I left my gravy sommelier job for this.
There it is. Trapper rallies the troops. He says, I'm telling you right here, right now, this goddamn hellhound gave us a bunch of shit last year, and that ain't gonna happen here tonight.
Now, hold on. The hellhound gave us a bunch of bleep last year.
You're right, it's cum.
Easily be, this goddamn hellhound gave us a bunch of cum last year.
Every time I fill in a curse word, I'm just going to delete it and type cum from now on. We'll get it on the
I've
first
been doing that for a few episodes now.
I think we all know. They split up into teams. The standard split. It's Wild Bill, Buck, and Willie on one side. They go toward the barns, while Jeff, Trapper, and Huckleberry go on towards the river and swamps, which none of these areas have been covered before.
There cannot be a swamp near here. I'm sorry. The swamp next to the cornfield. I'm not sure I'm familiar with this biome, and also they do specify, and I do get, I don't know if anyone else finds this funny, they tells each team to go a mile in each direction.
Yes. I was going to say, that's why it's a swamp. You have left the biome. You have traveled. There's been a loading screen. You're in the poison swamp. You want to come back to the Hellhound cornfield.
If you get to the cyberpunk level, you went too far. It's like
a mile out in another direction. In this insane area of dense corn that they're like, you can't see anything.
As long as there's a hellhound between them and then this very large particular part of the outside, it will go to the nearest small hallway in the corn. Picture it like one guy holding a thread, another guy holding a needle. Now, everybody drops what they're holding and they go outside to slip in puddles. And then one of them pulls his gun on a noise and the other one pees his pants and poops his pants. And then you have a full understanding of what their plan is and how it will be executed.
Did they even bait this trap?
No. It's just got a
No, it's
webbing.
just going to run through it. One row. Because it's a Hellhound highway, remember?
Sure.
And that means... Again, if you know it's high, why are you starting a mile away? Why any of this? But there's no time to think about that because we gotta get your drinks ready. Lock and load, boys. And for this one, Wild Bill holds his gun perpendicular and shakes it.
It's a milkshake gun.
Yeah, like it's an Etch-a-Sketch, and you gotta clear the last bullet before you draw the new bullet in, I guess?
He's got some gin and bitters in there. He's just making a martini in the shotgun.
Over on Trapper's team, Jeff has some hot spots on his thermal. Huckleberry has both Bigfoot and Hellhound tracks, while Buck's team is shaking out the barns. And Buck's team hears a noise, and they do the customary pointing of shotguns at one another's heads. It's hardly worth mentioning. Where Trapper, back with Trapper, he says, "Holy shit!" And like, it's a good thing we cut back to Trapper, because there is corn. It's not even knocked down corn.
He's like an emergency. He's like, Buck, we found some hellhound evidence in the corn. Like, it's just, yeah, dickhead. We know.
I do want to point out when they found those buildings that Willie instantly sticks his gun into a crack. Again, he had his gun stolen by a grass man just months ago, and it just
He's chasing that high.
I hope by the end of this series we can go back through and do like a super cut of all of the things that have taken Willie's gun from him. Mothman, Xenomorph, Hellhound. How'd the Hellhound get it? His teeth. He thought it was a bone. It was really cute. All of them just like still Polaroids with Willie in the background running comically after them.
him seeing the flattened corn and then deciding that that is a reason to call Buck and and abandon the pincer movement. That has to be the apex of the let's abandon the pincer movement because normally it's because we got attacked by the freaking grass man. We all got to get here because we're being attacked. That kind of makes sense. Here, it's clear that they don't know how to film the show if they just keep doing the pincer thing. So they have to they're taking any excuse like, oh, we heard a branch snap. Call Buck. It's now a fist maneuver.
Yeah, you're right in that it can't get lower than Buck. We've just seen corn in the cornfield. You gotta get over here. We need backup.
Here's another drinking game. If someone's like loudly yelling about something everybody already knew, and they continue to like reword everything, they're waiting for something to bump into them. And that's sure enough, that's what happens here. He's like, Buck, there's corn. Let me repeat, corn in the corn. And then like the hellhound bumps him because they really don't know how to communicate anything without screaming. I think it might be the team's only weakness because then the hellhounds know where to bash. They're like, oh, what's that sound? A bunch of dumb idiots yelling at each other. That's where I bash.
Trapper literally says, this means we've got the hellhound right where we want him. Like, what?
Sure.
Knocking you over? You want him? Oh, I get it. You're right. It's the shame fetish. You're correct. You do have him.
If it's not in the trash hallway, it's so specifically not where they want it.
Second episode in a row where Trapper is just getting knocked around by like bully cryptids. It's not like actual damage. They're just like kicking his legs out from under him and just making him look bad in front of his friends.
But why do they keep making the 76-year-old Trapper do this stunt? Even if he volunteers, it seems like one of the other guys, I don't know. Well, I guess they don't have the trap team with him, but it seems like either Jeff or Huckleberry would. They're both younger, aren't they? It's hard to tell.
Rough life for both of them, though.
But it's always just Trapper flinging himself to the ground, which, again, he's not. There's no padding there. There's no stunt mat or anything like that. It's just him.
We've established at least Buck shits his pants every time he falls, so like it's more of a thing for him.
You want to take that hit. If Buck's falling down, he's going to shit his pants. Like, no, Buck, you stand up. I'll do it.
So they call for backup, and Buck's team piles into their Forest golf cart and floors it to immediately get lost. They get so lost, they actually lose the cornfield for a minute, which we have been talking up, how it's the hugest thing any of them have ever seen. And then finally they pull up to like a small hill and just stand there looking at the corn, trying to like see with their eyeballs where Trapper's team is. 250 acres, I will remind you. The corn rustles, and phonetically I wrote down what they do. It is as exact as I could get. The corn rustles, and then all of them look at it and go, wagga, 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 as they run into the cornfield, all plans and strategy abandoned in just a dog with a sprinkler just running in there. They immediately get lost. I want to remind everybody they were already lost.
Yeah.
They got lost from getting lost.
It's hard to imagine fucking up anything harder than this. Just from start to finish.
I get why you might say, oh no, we're also lost and the Hellhounds got us, for stakes if you're improvising this. For both teams to separately decide they are also lost is a crazy bit of improv. For one of those teams to say, we got lost while getting lost, I think genuinely some people got lost here. I think Buck's team has gotten lost.
they literally cut back and forth between the two teams saying, I can't see nothing. I have no idea where we are. We're totally lost in this cornfield right now. And it cuts from Trapper saying, I can't see 5 feet in any direction. Cuts to Wild Bill and the other team saying, I can't see 5 feet in front of me. Like they both, without coordination, use the same phrasing because they are both absolutely lost, totally unprepared for the limited visibility in this cornfield for this hunt they planned in a cornfield for this monster that lives exclusively in cornfields. It's only here because this is where they still have tall corn, and they are totally unprepared and keep emphasizing to the point where Trapper says, we're at this son of a bitch's mercy right now. We are totally lost in this cornfield. It's like, okay, this is supposed to be your redemption hunt. I know that I'm beating a dead horse here, but this is the creature that you kept talking about how it humiliated you last time, and this time you're going to come prepared, and you're shocked by the fact that you can't see through corn.
Their plan did not account for corn.
I love that it's their continuation episode so that we actually have an example of them experiencing exactly this. They got lost in the first episode too and learned nothing. No lessons. They came right out and did it all again.
This is like entering a hot dog eating contest and then telling them that you're allergic to hot dogs.
Right.
Like, you came here for this.
This is my second time at the hot dog eating contest. Last year, I almost died from an allergic reaction. I haven't changed a single thing, and I'm here to do it again. Oh my God, I'm allergic to hot dogs. I think what's funny here is that they're still filming testimonials. So here they are helplessly, immediately lost in the woods, at the mercy of this monster they came to hunt. Buck's still like talking to Zach, like, oh, I don't know if it's the Hellhound or if it's Bigfoot. Either way, it's huge, and we're here among the... You're like... Stop filming the show. You're going to die.
Like, not even... like, the Hellhound isn't real. You're going to die in this cornfield.
Yes.
You're not getting out.
Or just ask the producers, say, Colt, can we please leave? Can you show us the way out, please, Colt?
And the producers are over there like nature documentarians, like, shh, don't interfere.
Yeah.
I know it's tragic, but we just have to let it take place. Zach trying to help him. No.
Here, I think that they all kind of agree they're going to die, and they kind of play in that for a little while. But then it's Wild Bill who remembers the trap, and he's like, guys, here's the new plan. Run him into the trap. So I guess that's the new plan, is to stop being helplessly lost and to now go back to the first plan, which was the pincer maneuver to push him into the trap. I don't know. While he's deciding this, he spends too long explaining it. And like I mentioned, if someone spends too long explaining it, something's going to bump into them. So Willie gets grabbed by Bigfoot, like the fucking Kentucky corn yoinker, just like pulls him off camera.
I love that whenever this happens, you also know that you just have to run about 20 feet in that direction and you'll just find them laying on the ground. Bigfoot's just here to yoink and go.
Here, I do appreciate the reason it's always Willie, because again, it was in the cave creature episode, he got yoinked off screen. I feel like there was at least one other yoinking, but it's Willie because he's the youngest and healthiest. He's the one who can handle that stunt. And I wish, and I don't know if they, again, why they separately did a trapper fall down stunt. It's like, no, let Willie's being, like, you're repeating that same beat of somebody getting knocked into the corn or pulled into the corn. I don't know. I worry about Trapper. Willie says he got dragged 30 yards through the corn. If he had gotten dragged 30 yards away, they would have never found him.
Never.
These guys would never have found something that's 90 feet from them in that corn.
I love so much when Willie gets yoinked or alternately repelled or falls out of a tree. Anything that involves Willie, like leaving the scene abruptly, we now have to go on a Willie hunt. I know how that sounds. We go on a Willie hunt, and when we find Willie, he plays it so bizarrely. He lays there totally inert until they find him, like he's been knocked unconscious, even though he specifically says that's not what happened, he just got pulled. But he lays there perfectly inert until they come up and like start talking to him, and then he will leap to his feet and go into a berserker rage. And just, why grab me? Fuck you, why you grab me? Wah, rah, rah.
He's one of those goats that faint when you scare him.
But he's like, you're right, he is tonic locked there just as a defensive Bigfoot maneuver.
When you're a kid, they teach you, like, when you get lost in the woods, you stay in one spot. And I think that's what happens. He gets pulled away from the group and he's like, well, I'm just going to stay here until they find me. I just love that these are tactical men of monster hunting. they're planning a second hunt against a monster that defeated them once. And again, we've mentioned that like they have no plan for the corn. They just stumbled diabetes first into like multiple like helpless lost situations. And that's the extent of it. They're done with this plan. It's insane that they filmed themselves doing this.
There's a brief shot here where we cut back to the other team to check in with them, and it shows that Huckleberry is holding Jeff's silly huge gun, which we thought was a flare gun. And I bring that up only to say the Discord did some research into this, and what they determined is that it's a shotgun revolver.
Okay.
Which is fucking hilarious. It's like the best weapon to blow your friends in half right in front of you and nothing else. Absolutely nothing. Like more than 2 feet away from you, it's totally useless.
It's something you can't even equip unless you have 40 points in the tech tree.
We have found out recently this week that in future seasons, at some point, Huckleberry is going to acquire a full-on, tricked-out AR-15 with holographic
I can't even imagine.
sights.
I've seen him with it. I can't imagine him with it. The shotgun revolver is such a fucking Fallout gun to have. It's so funny. And apparently it's like, it's kind of the meme gun where if somebody comes into the gun store and asks to buy that, you know, like, they don't know what they're doing. They're just really insecure. Because, like, this is garbage, but it sounds cool. So now that both teams are lost, they have a tactic that they're going to both deploy. I assume they have rehearsed it in strategic scenarios before. That tactic is to start screaming each other's names in panic like lost children at the mall.
I don't think you're making it clear that they play this like it's a great idea. Like, Eureka, I've thought of it. Jeff, scream out Buck's name really loudly.
Jeff just screams a wordless howl of anguish that sounds a little bit like Buck, like it's fucking Great Expectations, like he's in the rain with his heart broken.
If we had a soundboard for this show, that would be the sound that you would have played 13 times by now.
That would be the reason we can't have a soundboard on this show is because I would keep that on the soundboard and you would hear it 100 times. Every time I needed a reaction.
It sounds like a Bigfoot sound for sure.
If we had a soundboard for this show, these episodes would be 5 hours long. Yeah. It can't happen. It can never happen.
They had to try it though. Yelling. They had to give it a shot.
Yeah, they had to give they all knew this tactic from when they were kids at Disneyland, and it's, find a security guard and let the adult take care of you. It's the most cowardly, helpless baby tactic ever, but it works. The teams reunite. They all together charge off. Reminder, totally lost. They're not on the highway. They're not doing anything. Their guns in every hand, pointing at every head. And they come charging into a sudden clearing on accident, and there is an upside-down tree in the middle of the clearing. Bum?
And this is an all-time moment because they have the prop people and Colt Straub and the team. They've built this. They've plugged basically a log. They call it a tree. It's a log that's got some roots attached to it that's been stuck down. And then they took a few minutes to pile some stones around it in 4 piles of stones. And the entire team is going to start improvising about what this is. And they did not, for 1 millisecond, get together and decide what this is.
Here's the insane thing, though. They all start improvising, and they don't cut anything. So they start, let's go through it. All right, so they come upon this tree and are shocked and confused. And they say, well, I don't know what that is, but we know it sure comes from a Bigfoot. I would argue right there there's a problem with that statement.
Huh.
They find that pile of rocks, and Trapper goes to work first. He says, well, you know what this is? I think it's a navigational point. That sumbitch comes in here and sees that. This pile of rocks is east. That pile's west. North, south. This here is a Bigfoot compass. And he thinks this is over. I would argue it probably should be.
Yeah.
He found the line of work he was meant to do. The world would be worse.
Yeah, he found Bigfoot's day planner,
So Huckleberry then says, well, that's a good one, Trapper. You were supposed to cut that. We were not supposed to hear him say that. And then he goes on to say, well, I think these are moon cycles or days or something to get somewhere. And Trapper goes, oh, that's a good one too, Huck. We're not supposed to see this part of the process where you each improv and congratulate yourselves on coming up with something, and then you figure out which one's best, and they're just showing it all to us.
I think it's Buck who comes in. It's like, maybe that way marks food source. Maybe that pile of rocks is barn. Maybe pile of rocks is river. Maybe it's all ceremonial. Like, he just...
It's Wild Bill who says very sullenly after all of this, like, he doesn't want to join in or knows that his improv is never accepted. Like, there's some history to the way he says that. And he goes, well, I was thinking it was ceremonial. That's what my idea was.
Right, that was Wild Bill's idea. Someone does claim that it's a lot like those Bigfoot burial grounds. But that's weird because there were no upside-down trees there. It did incorporate a lot of wood branches, which is kind of what an upside-down tree is made out of. But, like, so is lawn furniture or picture frames. Some spoons. God damn it. That means the Bigfoot controls everything.
When they all get to go around in a circle and offer their completely, totally conflicting guess as to what this thing is, because they're not building on each other's ideas. It's not like Trapper said, well, I think it's this is a compass, this navigational. And then somebody else said yes. And then knowing that, I bet this part acts as a sundial, like to build on. They each have, they tear down the previous guys. And Wild Bill's like, I think it's ceremonial. Do you know the one person who is not allowed to offer a theory? Their goddamn researcher, Jeff.
You know, I think it was Indians in the 1700s. Shut the fuck up, Jeff.
Because I get why the only people we don't hear from is Jeff and Willie. I get why Willie's just like, hey, I'm the trap builder. I've done my thing. I don't know why you would think. Jeff is the one who should say, actually, the Indian name for this area is whatever, and this is the Shawnee in their alphabet. This spells out Bigfoot. And if he said anything, I have a dream that he did go on a spiel and that Colt Straub only cut his bit.
Left all of the improv we were not supposed to see just so Jeff would really get it. Really get that message. Jeff, I'm going to show you the scene we've shot, and I want you to pay real close attention.
Because this is like jazz. I want you to pay attention to the notes we don't play here.
To the Jeffs who don't talk. So Trapper takes in all of this information and says, well, we may not have got that hellhound tonight. Hold on. What the fuck?
They will never find their way back to that thing they built. That thing is still in that cornfield today.
We didn't even get started. Like, we didn't get to the trap. It didn't escape. We didn't chase it. Just off screen, Bigfoot and the hellhound are waiting.
They found a fucking Bigfoot Stargate. And they're like, well, let's go home.
That's it.
Hey, remember the corn farmer, Jay, whose employees are going to get eaten if they don't trap the hellhound? Maybe at least go to the trap and see if there's a hellhound in it? They don't even do that.
Tell the migrant workers' families that there's a really cool compass they can come see, and that should be some cold comfort to them in these dark years ahead.
Could be a day planner. Could be a list of foods that the Bigfoot likes. We don't know what it is yet. Could be ceremonial.
It just
definitely
hands
a Stargate.
On his hips, looks up at a piece of tree, is like, well, didn't get that hellhound tonight. Fucking, how is that the cue to go home?
Let's recap what happened.
Does it say go home in Bigfootese?
Time to get out of these wet clothes.
Well, I'm horny. You guys ready? That's it for me. Real phallic looking tree. Look at that. Those roots up there. That's the balls.
My poppers are kicking in, boys. Let's go hog out.
Getting loose.
And Buck tells the camera, Buck has the nerve to tell the camera that the hunt failed because Bigfoot stuck its nose into their business. The hunt failed because you walked into corn and instantly got lost.
We need to talk about that. Okay. The hunt failed because Bigfoot stuck his nose into their business. For this season, I mean, arguably seasons prior to this, but especially this season, your business is going after Bigfoot. It's in the start of the show. We are focused solely on Bigfoot. If anything, the hellhound may have stuck his nose into the business. You literally pivoted to that the whole show. How can he stick his nose into you trying to trap him? Like, he just peeks his head in and you're like, get the fuck out of here, Bigfoot. This is none of your concern. Oh, sorry, I'll go.
Specifically added a light to chase the Bigfoot away.
Trapper says, okay, let me tell you what this team's gonna do. From this point forward, we're going total Bigfoot. Now, I know I said that before at the start of every episode and twice this episode, but god damn it, maybe it'll stick this time. And they all scream and rally hands. They're so pumped up by this, their most unnecessary loss I have ever seen. I don't think it even started. I think this is a forfeit.
If one of you have not gotten a from this point forward, we're going total Bigfoot tattoo yet, I don't know why.
That's the motto of the show. That's our Star Trek. This should be our new opening. No, the song's too good.
But where Trapper probably thought that was the final line of the episode to close out, of course, Huckleberry, being just the messy bitch that he is, it comes in. And did you guys have this rant written down?
Yes.
Almost certainly.
Who wants it?
You claimed it. You got it. Unless you don't want it.
We're going on Bigfoot's ass. We're going to follow him into the gates of hell. And by God, if I have to, I'll walk up and kick Satan right in the nuts.
Hell yeah.
Okay, first of all, why is Bigfoot going to hell? Satan?
Yeah.
What does Satan have to do with
I guess if you're going to hell to get Bigfoot, Satan's like, no, I'm sorry. Once someone's in hell, you can't come get them. And that's when Huckleberry kicks him in the nuts and then goes past him and then pulls Bigfoot out of hell to get revenge for the time he put a tree in upside down while they were trying to hunt a hellhound.
I wish it could have cut to the rest of the team just kind of staring silently at him like, all right, calm down.
Settle down. Calm down now. You're up here. We need you way down here.
We can't match you up here. We can't get up there with you.
Yeah. So that's it for this Huckleberry had the quote, but if we gotta choose one, Jason.
Okay, so after Trapper got knocked down in the cornfield by, I guess, the hellhound, because it was the Bigfoot that yoinked Willie. First, there's a series of lines. He says, "This son of a bitch hits me like a 220-pound linebacker." He says, in reference to the 600-pound hellhound, that it hit him like it weighed a third of what it does. But then he starts to complain that it caught them off guard. And the way he says it is, then I just laid there like some kind of a dumbass. After he gets helped up, he looks at the team, again, who got caught, unawares by this, and says, "We was standing there with our fingers up our ass." And then Huckleberry says, "Yes, we was."
Wow. Incredible.
Sean, how about you?
God, there's a lot of great ones. I don't think anything topped a person looking at ordinary corn and saying, "That's Bigfoot damage."
That corn took Bigfoot damage. It's weak to Bigfoot damage. I think Huckleberry has a certain zeal, certainly, a certain gravitas to his statements. He, as Jason said, he's always shooting for that sizzler reel at the start. He wants the line that's going to define the theme of the episode. I do think he got it very early on in the truck briefing in this episode when he looked at Buck and he said, "That's one of them pube boys."
Yeah, I forgot about all their pube names. My quote for the show might be Drew P. Balls then.
We can go out on that if we want, but I have a bonus fact I would like to offer the listeners. And if you don't feel like this earns its place in the show, you can cut it. But I would like all of us go to the Ames team website, aimsa.org, including you listeners if you're near a computer. And once you're there, I would like you to click on Gallery at the top. And they have a photo gallery of some famous cryptids, Thunderbirds, the Mothman, the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh my God.
At the lower right, they have an image of the sheep squatch. What creature is depicted there? What creature have they put in the thumbnail for the sheep squatch?
Is that the Star Wars
It's
Wampa?
the Star Wars
It's
monster.
the Wampa from Empire Strikes Back. These guys are amazing.
It's just a screen grab.
Because you Bigfoot last night. Whoa, whoa.